How's it going? How's everybody doing? Essential Notes, back to talk fragrance with you guys once again. And for the month of June, I've kind of decided to dedicate the entire month on my social media to my favorite brand, which is Olympic Orchids. And I'm going to kick things off with this bad guy here, which is called Bay Rum, but I'm gonna quickly just kind of give you a bit of a rundown on Olympic Orchids, kind of who they are, where they are, and what they're about. So Olympic Orchids is a small kind of niche / indie house based out of the Pacific Northwest in the Seattle area. The founder and perfumer is Dr. Covey, and I really like this brand. They lean kind of more to using a lot of naturals, which I really appreciate. It's not that I'm against the use of synthetics or molecules or whatnot, because I believe, from what I understand, she uses some, like this fragrance in and of itself has, I think, Javanol, which, if I may be wrong, but I think that is like some kind of scent molecule. So, you know, and I think that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I don't even have an issue with synthetically generated ingredients either. But I do appreciate, you know, natural fragrances. I just do. It's kind of who I am. But the other thing that I really appreciate about this brand is they're kind of out of the box approach. So some of their fragrances kind of, you know, the concepts built around the fragrance are a little outside of the box. And for those that aren't so much outside of the box, they definitely take approaches that are outside of the box and then incorporate those in. And it makes for a very artistic, artisanal kind of style of a fragrance that just resonates with me. And, you know, if you follow me on my pages, you know that that's kind of what I'm into. I'm into fragrances that are artisanal, very creative, that are off the beaten path. I like the discovering fragrances that not a lot of people are talking about, and I like to share, you know, what I find with others. So that's kind of why I'm in this space doing what I'm doing. Anyways, Bay Rum is the brand's interpretation of Bay Rum. So in past history, Bay Rum was, you know, used for medicinal purposes. It was used for scent, you know, as like a cologne / perfume. It was kind of it's kind of one of the early stepping stones of perfumery, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the brand's interpretation of that. So you have, I'll go ahead and just spray it and give you a taste of kind of like your atomizer there. This opens super, super spicy. So I'm gonna just read the notes. The notes you have are Jamaican bay, laurel, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, allspice, berry, orange blossom, citrus notes, javanol, balsams, and the rum accord. This opens super spicy. It's very warm, very inviting, very kind of cozy. I often wear this more in the fall and in the winter. The spices are excellent, and then it kind of just, as they start to dissipate and fade, it leaves this kind of lovely aromatic type base, I guess, so to speak, you know, with some of the balsams and the you know, the bay kind of coming through. So once those spices fade, you know, you're left with this really nice boozy accord that kind of mixes with the aromatics, and then you have those balsams that are supporting it as well. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Olympic Orchids is quality for their dry downs. It has this freshness to it, this enlivening quality as well. I remember I was on one of my buddies' YouTube programs, JJ Colburn. He has a program called Effluvium, and we were on discussing our favorite comforting fragrances, and this is one that I put forth as one of my most comforting fragrances. I love to wear it in the evenings, even on a day where I'm kind of just wanting to kind of feel kind of comforted, or it's been a rough after rough days, or a rough week, in the weekend. Sometimes I'll throw it on like on a Saturday when I'm just chilling around the house, and it's such a very, very nice, it feels like it envelops you. So I don't have too much more to say on that. This was released in 2012. And yeah, aside from that, this is a brand that I would definitely recommend you go get your nose on. Their catalog is quite extensive. That's another thing I really appreciate. So, there's always a lot to explore. I'm not even done exploring the whole house. I have, I think, about 10 or 12 fragrances, something like that. I still have a number that are on my must-buy list, and then I still have a number that I have not even explored. So there is something there for everyone, but I highly recommend you get your nose on this brand. The blending is well done. The way that the compositions are structured is beautiful, and I just highly recommend it. Yeah, that's it. So this is a fairly new YouTube channel, so if you could like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you've gotten your nose on this brand yet, and if so, do you have any favorites? I do know they have some fragrances that are quite popular, and maybe you have tried one or two of them, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, especially if you've tried this Bay Rum. And that's all I got. So until next time, peace.